Good morning, all of you. So, in our last class, we started our second, that means September 2 second paper, that means second shift, afternoon shift paper. So, let us continue that problems from that. So, I hope we completed 5 problems in that. This is the next sixth one. So, Young's double slit. In Young's double slit experiment, 15 fringes are observed in a certain segment of screen when the wavelength of 700 nanometers is used. If the wavelength is changed to 400 nanometers, number of fringes observed in the same segment of the screen is. So just you can say, like, suppose if you are taking on the screen a length of L, if you are taking here, suppose on this I am taking this N1 number of fringes are there for this lambda 1. So then N1 into beta 1 we can write, where beta is the fringe width there, right? So there what we can write there is N1 into beta 1 is equal to N2 into beta 2. So as the experimental setup is same, that lambda, that means small d and capital D values are same. So it is lambda d, lambda 1 into d by d you can write, and this is equal to N2 into lambda 2 into d by d. And so that from this what I can write there is they are asking just this number of fringes, so N2 value they are asking there, so therefore N1 into lambda 1 by lambda 2 you can write. So N1 value is nothing but 16, 16 into this is 700 by 400 you can write, right? And so that gives us 28 fringes. So in the same width, 28 fringes of this second wavelength 400 nanometers we can observe there. And so next let us see the seventh one. So then the seventh one is, in hydrogen atom, electron makes the transition from this n plus 1th orbit to nth orbit, nth level. If n is very much greater than 1, then the frequency of radiation emitted is proportional to. So that we can write this frequency of emitted means that delta E energy difference is equal to h nu or hf you can write. So then this value is nothing but you can write this as E n plus 1 minus E n you can write. And therefore just the substitution, and we need to take this approximations there. So then this value I can take this as some 13.6 into 1 by n square minus 1 by n plus 1 whole square, right? So it means it is inversely proportional to n, nth orbit energy is minus 13.6 by n square you can write. So just I am substituting this. So then here minus 13.6 by n plus 1 whole square, here minus of minus plus you will get 13.6 by n square you will get, and therefore this is h nu is equal to some 13.6 into, just they are asking the proportionality here, so you can take LCM there, LCM and simplify this. So n plus 1 whole square minus n square by this is n square into n plus 1 whole square, right? And so now let us simplify this. So it is 13.6 into n square, if we simplify that n square plus 2n plus 1 minus n square by this is n square into 1 plus n whole square, and therefore this is 13.6 into the remaining terms will be like 2n plus 1 by n square into n plus 1 whole square. And now here the given approximation is like n is very much greater than 1, so we can write this expression as like 13.6 into n, let us take common here, let us take n common in the numerator, so I can write this as 2 plus 1 by n, right, by n power 4 into 1 plus 1 by n whole square. Is it clear? Now this 1 by n term you can neglect here, here 1 by n you can neglect, and here 1 by n you can neglect, and so that then this is 13.6 into 2 by n cube you will get, and so then this is our h nu value, therefore this nu is inversely proportional to n cube you can write. So that is our required relation there, proportionality relation, that is for that question. And next one is based on this logic gates they are asking here by giving some combination of gates. So by giving some combination of gates in the following circuit, what will be the output Z when the inputs A and B are 0, 1 and 0, 0 and 1, 1 and 0, 1. So they are asking for that outputs, they are asking there for this inputs they are asking that output. I will draw this circuit here. That circuit is so this is our A and B inputs. This is our first gate here. Then another OR gate is given there. This is our B. This is A and this is B. And from here this input is taken to this, that is B. And from here this another A input is given to this. And now this is the input from this and from this or fed to this another AND gate here. Right? And this is connected to a NOR gate finally. So this is our finally our Z here output. And so now let us take this is some X I am taking here and suppose that this is Y and so that this is X and Y, right? And so that then this will be some Z, let us take here. I am taking it as some Z1. So this is our X. So X and Z1. So final output is Z they are asking there, right? And so then you can write those values here. What is X and what is Z means you can write those values. So I can write first in terms of AB I will write. So finally you can substitute those values. So then this value I can write this as X value is equal to A dot B complement because that is AND gate is NAND gate is given there. So AND gate is A dot B and the whole complement. And then this Y is nothing but A plus B now we can write Y is equal to. And so now next I am writing this Z1 here. So Z1 is nothing but this is again Z1 is nothing but they are giving it as this Z1 here. Z1 is nothing but X into Y, right? So that X into Y means we can write this as A dot B complement dot A plus B. So then you can multiply this A dot B complement dot A plus A dot B complement dot B, right? So that means just you need to apply this De Morgan's theorem or like basic identities we need to use there. So just this equation now I can write this as so from this what we can write there is so if you want to simplify this further then you can simplify like this. So now to simplify this instead of substituting A and B here if you write in terms of X and Y only then calculation will be easy. You can further simplify but calculation will become lengthy here like A plus B, again the De Morgan's theorem A complement plus B complement dot A, and similarly here A complement plus B component dot B you need to write there. Instead of this now what I am doing there is let us keep that Z as X dot Y. And now let us directly I am writing this Z equation here. So this Z is nothing but what we can write there is X plus Z1 whole complement, right? So that is because it is an OR gate, a NOR gate. So OR gate complement we need to take. So this is input is Z1 here and one is X. So now let us substitute this Z1 by using this equation here. So this value I can write this as X plus X dot Y whole complement, right? And so now let us say this. And then here what I am taking there is X I am taking common here. So 1 plus Y you will get. X dot 1 plus Y you can write there. Just I am taking this X common here, right? And so now 1 plus Y is nothing but we need to write this identity here. So then X dot 1 you will get. So 1 plus y is nothing but 1 only. Like suppose that is nothing but the relation what we are using here. 1 plus y is equal to 1 I am writing there. So because if y is 0, then 1 plus 0, 1 you will get. If y is 1, 1 plus 1, again 1 you will get. So that means whatever the y value, you will get 1 plus y is always 1 only. So you can replace that 1 plus y with the 1. So then this is nothing but finally x into 1 means again x you will get. So then this is x complement, now we can write. So then x complement is nothing but simply what we can write there is x value, now we can substitute here. X is nothing but AB complement. Therefore this z value what we can write there is A dot B complement, whole complement we can write. So x itself is A dot B complement. Now again whole complement is there. Therefore this z is nothing but A dot B you will get, right? So A dot B means then it is nothing but AND gate. So AND gate outputs now we can write easily. Like first they are asking like 1 comma 1. So now I can write the just a truth table of this AND gate, how I can draw here. So just to say this A, B and Z. So when A is 1 comma 0, then you will get this value as 0, and when it is next set of values are 0 comma 0, then you will get 0, and then next set of values is 1 comma 1, then you will get 1, 0 comma 1, 0 you will get. So it is nothing but simply the truth table of AND gate you will get there, right? So that will be the output, the corresponding outputs there. Next problem is like dimension analysis, which we solved in the paper, first paper also, morning shift paper also we solved such a question, and now such a similar question, exactly the similar question they gave. Like they are taking that momentum, area and time are the to be fundamental quantities, and dimension formula of this energy they are asking there. So just I will write the process, then you can solve that, you can simplify that. I'm not going to solve in detail here because it's a simple problem only. Like E is proportional to P power A and A power B and T power C, let us take here energy where E is. Now when you are writing this dimension analysis, ml square T power minus 2 is equal to, this P is momentum, so ml T power minus 1 whole power A, and A is area, so L square whole power B, and T is the time, so then T power C you can write. So then compare the powers on both sides and then simplify the equations there, right? And the next capillarity question, like surface tension question. Capillary tube is made up of glass of radius 0.15 mm dipped vertically in a beaker filled with methylene iodide. Surface tension 0.05 Newton per meter. Density 667 kg per meter cube, which rises to a height h inside the tube. It is observed that the two segments, two tangents drawn from the liquid glass interface from the opposite sides of the capillarity make an angle 60 degrees with each other. Then h is close to. So just here that radius of curvature, if you are able to calculate, then we can solve this problem easily there. So let us see that calculation in that. So let us see the calculation here. So the given information is actually given like this. This is two tangents drawn from this opposite terminals, that means opposite points. So that means one point, one tangent if you are drawing here, then other tangent if you are drawing here, then these two, angle between these two tangents is given here. So angle between these two tangents is 60 degrees is given there. And from that you can calculate the radius of curvature there. So let us draw the normal here, and this is a radius of this tube. And so then if this angle is 60, total angle is 60, then with the vertical I can take it as making an angle of this angle you can say it as a 30 degrees there, so that this angle will be 30 degrees. And so that then this angle is, this side is r, radius of curvature of the meniscus, and this is a small r there. Is it clear? So then you can consider that small r and capital R relation you can write there. So just write that cos theta formula there. So I can write this cos 30 is equal to, so cos 30 is r by r you can write. So therefore this r is equal to small r by cos 30 you can write. So it is 2r by root 3. And then next is just you can apply our capillarity formula there. So just this capillarize you can write this as 2t by r rho g you can write. Sorry, capital R rho g you can write in terms of this capital R. Capital R rho g you can write. And then you can simplify those values there, right? That means the surface tension is given as 0.05 by this radius of curvature. What we can write there is this is radius of this tube is given, radius of capillary tube, so which is so I will substitute here 2 into this small r value is 0.15 mm, 15 into 10 power minus 3 by root 3. This is a totally our small r capital R value by substituting the small r, and density of that liquid is 667 into G value. Let us take 10. So then let us simplify this value. Then you will get this this expression as 0.087 meters. So once do this simplification. And next one is the gravitation question. The next question. The height h at which the height of the object will be same as that of same depth h from the surface of the earth, or is the radius of earth, the effect of rotation on this rotation of the earth is neglected. So that means at a depth h and a height h, the weight is taken to be same. That means then they are asking that h expression they are asking in terms of this radius. So just what we can write there is this is suppose surface of the earth if I consider, and this is at a depth of h from this, and this is height h. And so that then what we can write there is this is suppose a point P and this is point Q there. At those 2 points the weight of the object is given as same. So weight of the object at point P and weight of the object at point Q is given same. So which indicates that gravitation, acceleration due to gravity at point P should be same as that of acceleration due to gravity at the point Q. And so now acceleration due to gravity at the point P means that is outside the earth. So which we can write this as gm by r plus h whole square, right? So that is acceleration due to gravity at a depth h from this surface of the at a height h from the surface of the earth. Now it is at a depth depth means then acceleration due to gravity inside we need to write here. So inside formula is gm by r cube into small r we need to write. So that formula now I am applying here. So because that point Q is inside, so then it is gm by r cube into r minus h we need to write, because this small r is measured from the center. So measured from the center means then this height will be capital R minus h you need to write. So we need to simplify this equation, then we need to find this relation between small h and capital R. So then this gm will be cancelled. So what we can write there is r cube into r cube is equal to r minus h into r plus h whole square. Right. So then simplify this equation, you will get a quadratic equation, and from that quadratic equation find the factors for that. So like this equation I can write this as r cube is equal to r minus h into r square plus h square plus 2rh. So just I will write the quadratic equation, then this is r cube is equal to r cube plus rh square plus 2r square h minus hr square minus h cube minus 2rh square. So then r cube term will be cancelled, then you can simplify these remaining terms there, so that you will get this equation as r square one h. If once this r cube term is cancelled, one h you can cancel there. So then here r square 2r square h, and here hr square you will get. So that will become r square h. So one h will be cancelled, r square minus rh minus h square is equal to 0 you will get. And find the factors for that, then you will get that h expression there, right? And then next So let us see the next question here. This is an kinetic theory of gases. So an ideal gas in a closed container is slowly heated as the temperature is increases. Which of the following statements is true? So this is a question related to this mean free path. So this mean free path concept is also important in the recent years, especially they are asking frequently based on this mean free path concept. So you know mean free path is nothing but distance, average distance traveled by the molecules between two successive collisions. So that we call the mean free path. And so by using this Boltzmann approximations, we can derive an expression for this as like 1 by root 2 pi d square into n, right? So this d is nothing but the average diameter of this molecule, and this n is nothing but number of molecules per unit volume. So the number of molecules per unit volume you can write by using our ideal gas equation. So this ideal gas equation, by using this you can write this as this total number of molecule by volume into Kb into T. So actually this equation derivation is nothing but you can write this equation as that means this derivation I am saying here. So we know ideal gas equation as Pv is equal to nRT. Here this n is number of moles here. Let us take it as n dash. So n dash into R into T. So from this K into V is equal to this n dash into this value, you can write this as Avogadro number into this Kb into T, right? So there is number of moles into Avogadro number. This relation between R and Boltzmann constant. So this number of molecules, number of moles into number of Avogadro number will give the total number of molecules, because Avogadro number is nothing but number of molecules per 1 mole of any gas, right? So then if n dash moles of any gas are there, then n dash into Nm is that gives the total number of molecules, and so that you can write this as total number of molecules n by V and into Kb into T. So that is nothing but the equation what we are writing there, right? So this is nothing but our small n what I represented there. So small n into Kb into T. So this value is nothing but P by Kb into T, right? So now I will rub this. So from ideal gas equation I explained this derivation of this also. And then let us substitute that expression there. Therefore this lambda is equal to this Kb into T by under root of 2 into pi d square into P you can write, right? So that is our equation here. And so now from this here the options are mean free path of the molecules, mean free path with increase in temperature they are asking, as the temperature increases. So it is, you can observe this directly here. So then it is directly proportional to T, you can say that. So that its mean free path value increases. So mean free path values will increase with that is with respect to this temperature. Now we need to answer here. So an ideal gas in a closed container is heated slowly. So when the volume remains constant, then this actually the basic information from this you can write here. This is n by V we are writing here. So as the temperature is increases, this value we can generally we can answer this value if P is constant here. So this is if P is constant, you can answer this expression here, right? And so now, but here P is not constant. Here the given information is the gas is taken in a closed container, and then in closed container it is increased there. So when closed container, if it is increased, then this V value will remains constant and total number of molecules also remains constant. And so that this you can answer this n by V is a constant value here. So therefore here what we can write this is n by V, which is equal to P by Kb into T will remains constant. Is it clear? Here given condition here. So that means in this you can write this condition here. So this condition is from this what we can say this lambda value is also constant here with increase in temperature under this particular condition. So that means generally students will select this option here. So with increase in this time the mean free path value also will increase there, right? So but here it will remains constant there because of this reason. And the next they are asking about average collision time. So the mean collision time they are asking there. So is it clear this one? So that means actually this is our expression in terms of temperature we will write here. So then here this is a misconcept here. So that means directly lambda is proportional to T. Generally we will say then based on that you may select the option like it increases. But here the important thing this you need to note here is lambda is directly proportional to T only when pressure is constant here. But in this case, in this given condition, pressure is not constant. So this N value is constant and it is taken in a closed container so that V value is constant. So that P by T value will remain constant here. Like Charles law, P is directly proportional to T you will get. And so that then this value will remain constant and so that lambda is also constant, right? And so next here time of collision they are asking here. The time of collision means we can write this as for this time of collisions what we can write is this lambda by this average velocity. Now we can write here, right? So that average velocity of these molecules we can write there, average time. And so now here this value is constant we are saying that, and we know this. So here the condition is lambda is constant and V average is directly proportional to root T. That average velocity or RMS velocity, they are directly proportional to square root of absolute temperature. And so then here let us take this time as T here, small t I am taking, that capital T I am taking as temperature. And so therefore this time t, small t is directly inversely proportional to under root of T you will get. And so as the temperature is increased, this value will decrease there. The collision between molecules will decrease. So that is our conclusion here. Lambda will remain constant and this time will decrease there, right? And so see the next question. So a charge Q is distributed over the two concentric conducting thin spherical shells of radii r and capital small r and capital R. If the surface charge densities of the two shells are equal, the potential at the common center is. So that means the given information is like two concentric shells we are taking here. One is of radius smaller and other is of radius capital R. And suppose here I am taking this as Q1 and this charge is Q2 I am taking there, right? And so now the given information is their surface charge densities are equal. So that means suppose I am taking this as lambda 1 is equal to lambda 2. That surface charge density is there, right? And so now you can write that surface charge density, you can write this expression as. So instead of this what I will do here is I will write this expression for potential directly in terms of the surface charge density. So we know this potential at the center is nothing but potential inside is nothing but potential on the surface here for the shells. So then which you can write this as KQ by R we can write. Potential on the surface means for that particular sphere, general formula I am writing there. And so therefore this potential and inside we can write this as Q by 4 pi R square into epsilon naught into R. So just I am multiplying this with R and dividing with R. So then this is nothing but our sigma value will get. So this value we can write this as sigma R by epsilon naught you can write. Is it clear? And so now here and so then you can write that expression there. Therefore I can write this potential as the net potential as we can write this as V1 plus V2. And so that then this V1 is sigma into R by epsilon naught plus sigma into capital R by epsilon naught. So sigma into capital R is for this sigma into small r is due to the potential, that means potential due to this inner shell, and this is capital R is due to the potential due to this outer shell. And therefore this expression now you can write this as sigma by epsilon naught you can take here. Then small r plus capital R you can write there. And so now here this given information is that sigma is same for both of them is given, and that Q1 and Q2 values are given for that. So in terms of this Q now we need to write here, right? So the total charge is given as Q for us. So now let us do that further simplification there. So the further simplification is nothing but Q is a charge Q is distributed over the two conducting spherical shells they are giving here. So that means then what we can write there is Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 we can write. So then Q is the charge distributed on this total spheres they are asking. And so now we can write this expression here. So first you may write the relation between sigma 1 is equal to sigma 2. This is suppose I am taking this as equation 1. And let us take this as equation 2, or first let us write the relation between Q1 and Q2, so directly you can substitute in that. So then directly now I am taking that relation there, sigma 1 is equal to sigma 2. So what we can write there is q1 by 4 pi small r square is equal to q2 by 4 pi capital R square, right? So that is, so from this what you can write there is q1 by q2 is equal to small r by capital R whole square you can write. Let's suppose this is our equation 2. And then another relation what we can write there is q is equal to q1 plus q2 we can write, right? And so therefore this q is equal to, let us eliminate this q1 and q2 values there. So you can directly write in terms of this q1 and q2 values there. And so then I can write this expression as either q1 or q2 expression, or we need to write here. So then q is equal to q1 plus q2 I am writing here. So then let us eliminate that q1 value for example, then r by r whole square plus q2 into q2 plus q2. Is it clear? From this I am eliminating this q1 value. And so then this expression you can write this as q2 into, this is q is equal to small r square plus capital R square by capital R square. This is our q. So from this I am writing this q2 is equal to q into r square by small r square plus capital R square you can write. Now therefore sigma value you can write here. Sigma is equal to q2 by 4 pi capital R square now we can write. Is it clear? Sigma value now I am finding, so that sigma value you can substitute here. Then you will get the expression in terms of this capital Q you will get. And so now this is nothing but q by 4 pi into r square plus r square you will get. And so then you may substitute that expression there. Therefore from equation 1, that potential is equal to, what we can write there is r plus r capital R by epsilon naught into this q by 4 pi epsilon 4 pi into r square plus r square you can write. So finally what we can write there is q by 4 pi epsilon naught into r plus r by r square plus capital R square you can write. So that will be the expression for this potential at the common center in terms of this q. And the next one is an inductor of inductance has let us say this, an inductor of coil has an reactance of 100 ohms. When an AC signal of frequency 1000 ohms is applied to the coil, the applied voltage leads the current by 45 degrees. Then the self inductance of the coil is. So this is also a simple question only, alternating circuits question here. So that means now here this coil will possess an internal resistance here. So let us take that resistance like this, because for the cell itself, that means for the inductor itself, they mentioned that reactance of the inductor is given, but the given information is voltage leads the current there, right? And so that then this is capital R and this is some small r I am taking, or you can take that as a capital R there. There is no problem. Just it is the internal resistance of that L, so that I am taking it as a small r. And so now here the given information is, or you may take this as capital R so that you will get the more clarity about that. Actually it is the internal resistance of that. And so then reactance is given here. The reactance of this XL is equal to 100 is given. Yeah, the reactance of inductor is given. So the reactance of this inductor means then resultant of those two values we need to write here. So that means then 100 is equal to, what you can write there is R square plus XL square. Now we can write there. And applied frequency is given. And another relation what we can write there is, this is suppose say equation 1. Next that phase relation you can write here. The phase relation is nothing but suppose if you are taking this as VR along this direction and this will be VL, and so that I is along this direction, then this is our net voltage here. So this angle is given as 45 degrees there, phasor diagram. And so that then tan phi is equal to, we can write that equation as tan phi is equal to XL by R you can write. So this is tan 45 is given. So tan 45 is equal to XL by R. So that implies that XL is equal to R, you can write. And so that now we can calculate this R value, you can replace there. Therefore what we can write there is 100 is equal to under root of XL square plus XL square, you can write. That means R also I am replacing by XL square. And therefore this is 100 into root 2 into XL. And from this XL value, you know this omega L. Therefore omega L is equal to 100 by root 2, you can write. And then omega means you can substitute that value, that frequency is 1000 is given, then you can write that omega values there. So therefore this L is equal to 50 root 2 this value by omega. Omega is nothing but 2 pi f into, then it is 10 cube. So then if you simplify this, its value will be approximately, will get that value as 1.1 into 10 power minus 2 henries. So then that will be the equation here. So just this reactance of this circuit is given, then we are writing this value, and then phase difference is given here. So tan phi is equal to XL by R. So with the help of those equations, then you can calculate this L value here, right? So here the misleading is nothing but generally you may directly equate this 100 is equal to omega L, then you will get this wrong answer there. So it is a reactance is given and it is phase difference is given here. Basically you need to identify that resistance is there in the circuit with the help of this. With the help of this you need to identify that resistance is there in that circuit. And next question there, two uniform circular discs are joined to rotate independently. Discs are rotate independently in the same direction around the common axis passing their centers. The moment of inertia and angular velocity of the first disc is 0.1 and 10 radians per second respectively, while those for the second one are 0.2 and 5 radians per second respectively. At some instant they get struck together and starts rotating as a single system about the common axis with the some angular speed. The kinetic energy of the combined system is. So it is just a conservation of angular momentum application, and it's a common question only. That means commonly we solve this, we will discuss this question in the classes. I hope most of the students can answer this question here. Just when two discs are joined together, that by using that conservation of angular momentum, we need to write this common angular velocity of the system. From that you can find the kinetic energy of the system. So that means initial angular momentum is equal to final angular momentum. Initial angular momentum is I1 omega 1 plus I2 omega 2 is equal to I1 plus I2 into, both will rotate with the common angular velocity, so which is omega, right? And so therefore that omega is equal to, so I1 omega 1 plus I2 omega 2 by I1 plus I2. Therefore this omega is equal to, you can just substitute those values there. This is 0.1 into angular velocity is 10 plus 0.2 into 5 by this I1 plus I2 means then it is 0.1 plus 0.2. Therefore omega is nothing but, you can answer this as 1 and this is also 1. So that in 2 by 0.3, so it is 20 by 3 radians per second. And here the question is about combined kinetic energy of the combined system they are asking. Therefore simply this final kinetic energy they are asking here. Therefore what we can write there is I1 plus I2 into omega square we can write. They are rotating with that common angular velocity. So then I1 plus I2 is 0.3 into omega is nothing but 20 by 0.3 whole square, right? So then simplify that, then you will get this value as 20 by 3 joules. And here sometimes they will ask what is the loss of kinetic energy or work done by the friction they will ask. So work done by the friction means you can write simply conservation of energy or work energy theorem. So that loss of energy is nothing but work done by the frictional force you can write. So this final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy you can write. And next one, a small point mass carrying positive charge on it is released from the edge of a table. There is a uniform electric field in the region in horizontal direction. Which of the following options or correctly describes the trajectory of the mass? Curves are drawn schematically, not to the scale. So that means here this given question is like, so from the edge of the table, then this a charged particle is released here, right? And so now here there is an electric field in this region here. This coordinate system is now taken like this. This is x and y. Now the path followed by this particle, trajectory of this particle, they are asking there. Relation between x and y, they are asking here. So once the particle is in electric field, the positive charged particle, you know there are accelerations along x direction and y direction we can write there. That means simply the force acting on this particle if I consider, then EQ will be there along this direction and mg will be there along this direction. And the important thing is both are constants only. So EQ is constant and mg is also constant. And so that then net force will be along this direction here. The net force is along the direction, right? And so that from that what we can say is the particle will follow a straight line along that path only. So that means path followed by the particle is, it makes certain angle say phi with this, and so the tan phi value also you can write this as EQ by mg you can write. So that will be the trajectory of this path followed here. That means you will get a straight line passing through this horizon. Relation between x and y means then you will get some straight line here, y is equal to mx form, right? So that will be the form there. That slope of this angle is nothing but here I am taking with the vertical, so that this with the y axis you will get there. And then next, a 10 microfarad capacitor is fully charged to a potential of 50 volts, and after the source voltage is connected to an uncharged capacitor in parallel. Now the potential difference across them becomes 20 volts. The capacitance of the second capacitor is. So just it is also sharing of charges, and this based on sharing of charges is very important, and especially for the mains point of view, in every paper there will be a question based on this almost. In the previous sessions also, like in the previous year also, majority papers will consist of a question based on this sharing of charges. So now let us say this question here. This is a just one capacitor is charged to a potential difference of 50 volts. So let us take this is some positive charge Q0 and this is minus charge here. So then this is Q0 is nothing but C into V, or C, both are identical capacitors only. Yeah, both are different. So then this is connected to an uncharged capacitor here. Uncharged capacitor of capacitance, suppose say C2. Now the common potential is given here. Therefore we know this common potential is nothing but like C1 V1 plus C2 V2 by C1 plus C2 generally we will write, right? And so now here this is C1 V1 is like 10 into 50 plus 0, this is uncharged, and this is 10 plus C2, right? And so that what we can write there is V is equal to, let us keep that value there, so 500 by 10 plus C2. And so now here the given information is this value is given here. So this value is given as less like 20 volts is given. The common potential is given here. So this is the given value, right? And so then you can cancel these expressions there. Then you can that means this 0 you can cancel. So 50 is equal to 20 plus 2 C2, and therefore this C2 is equal to, you can answer this as 15 microfarad you can write. So that is our next question there. And the next one is when a temperature of a metal wire is increased from 0 to 10 degrees centigrade, its length increases by 0.05. The percentage change in the mass density will be closest to. So see this problem. So here the temperature of wire is increased by this length of this rod is increased here. So the length of this rod increased means then you can write this as delta L is equal to delta L by L is equal to alpha into delta T you can write. And so that then this value is given by, so then this delta L by L is equal to, this value is given as 0.02%, right? This is a percentage change in this length. And now let us calculate the percentage change in volume here. So then percentage change in volume is equal to, what we can write there is percentage change in, you can write simply they are asking that percentage change in volume. If you are able to answer, then you can answer about this percentage change in density you can write there, because mass per unit length is a constant value. So that means what I can write there is V is equal to, for this A into L you can write for the cylindrical wires, because it is given as a wire here. So for this wire I can write like this, or you can say directly also you can say here like percentage change in volume you can write here. In this we will mention like percentage change in volume is the 3 times that of, that means gamma into delta T. Now you need to write actually. So this gamma is nothing but 3 alpha into delta T you can write. So it is 3 times the percentage change in length you can write. So therefore this delta V by V into 100 is equal to, this is delta V by V into 100. This percentage change we are writing here. So this is into 100. So then this percentage change in volume will be equal to, so then this value I can write this as delta V by V into 100 is equal to 0.06%, right? So that is the percentage change in volume. And then percentage change in density will also, you will get the same amount there. That means it with opposite sign, because this density you can write this as mass by volume, and therefore this mod of delta rho by rho into 100 is equal to this mod of this delta V by V into 100 you can write, because that mass will remains constant there. So then you can answer this as 0.6%, that means 0.06% you can answer that. That's a percentage change in volume. And next, in a plane electromagnetic wave, the directions of electric field and magnetic field are represented by k cap and 2 I cap minus 2 j cap respectively. What is the unit vector along the direction of propagation of the vector? So you know the pointing vector, the direction of propagation of the wave is given by like E bar cross B bar, right? So the direction of propagation is it is nothing but along E cap cross this direction. If you are writing E cap cross B cap, you can write there. So the electric and magnetic field vectors are given there. Therefore, I can take this as E cap, as this is E cap k cap direction cross. This B cap is 2 I cap minus 2 j cap by, I can write this as 2 root 2, right? So that magnitude of that. And so then this is nothing but k cap cross I cap minus j cap by root 2 now you can write. So just do the cross product there, then k cap cross I cap is j cap, and minus k cap cross j cap is plus I cap, that means minus of minus you will get plus I cap. So its vector is nothing but I cap plus j cap by root 2. So this is the direction of propagation of this wave here, right? So the direction of, simply you need to remember, direction of propagation of this wave is in the direction of E bar cross B bar vectors. Next is the 28th question. A particle is moving 5 times the faster than that of the electron. The ratio of de Broglie wavelength of particle to that of electron is 1.878 into 10 power minus 4. The mass of the particle is. So then simply it's a de Broglie wavelength concept. So this de Broglie wavelength concept is also very important. So then this de Broglie wavelength is h by mv, you can write h by momentum. So you can write this as h by mv. So that 5 times the faster, that means if I write this de Broglie wavelength of this particle h by m into 5 times that of electron, and for this electron it is h by mass of electron into V. And just take the ratio of these two here. So then de Broglie wavelength of particle to that of de Broglie wavelength of electron. So then it is me by m into 1 by 5 you can write. So then this ratio is given for us. This ratio is nothing but 1.878 into 10 power minus 4 is equal to mass of electron we know already. So this mass of electron is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 by 5 m. So just write this m value this side and then simplify this. 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 by 5 into 1.878 into 10 power minus 4. Right? And so simplify that, then you will get this value here. It's around, you will get 9.7 into 10 power minus 28 kg you will get. So that will be the mass of that particle there, right? So that is about these particles here. Then next numerical type questions are there. Those numerical type questions I will explain in our next class, the remaining five questions, right? So that means in this also now we can observe that till now there is no any lengthy question there. Like once that misleading question will be there, like de Broglie wavelength, not de Broglie, like mean free path question. So that's generally misleading question. So most of the students can answer the wrong option there, because that there are two options you need to select because of this what I said, temperature. So lambda is appears to be directly proportional to temperature. So but there you need to remember that is valid only when this pressure remains constant there, right? So then that is the important thing in that. So the remaining questions are easy only. So I will explain the remaining questions in the next class, right? Thank you.